Hello everyone. I have been sharpening manicure tools for over a decade, for over 10 years, and I would like to tell you about various different ways and techniques to sharpen manicure clippers. Some of these methods are very interesting, and besides that, I conduct training on sharpening manicure and hairdressing tools in my workshop. So, in this video, I would like to answer some interesting questions, which often arise, and our students who are currently learning to sharpen manicure and hairdressing tools frequently ask these questions. So, here are 7 different ways to sharpen manicure clippers. Various methods can be applied. Manicure clippers are the most difficult tool to sharpen among all types of tools because they have quite complex geometry, and the cutting edges or cutting facets of these tools have specific requirements to ensure the clippers cut perfectly. Manicure clippers should cut with a light touch, not even pressing, but just with a light contact of both cutting surfaces. The skin should already be cut. Achieving this without training is impossible. From this very important thesis, let's move on to the very first point on my list. This is sharpening with whetstones. A whetstone is a small file, typically a small abrasive stone commonly used for sharpening, for finishing, for sharpening, and also for polishing. They are commonly and frequently used, either for sharpening short folding knives as well as for sharpening fishing hooks. But some craftsmen also use them to sharpen manicure clippers. I admit, I used to use this sharpening method myself. A long time ago, many years ago, when I was just starting out in this business, I bought several various types, including some very fine, really extremely fine stones, and I used them for sharpening, and I must admit, let's say, I have indeed heard about masters who use this type of sharpening. It has its drawbacks, which are not very obvious now. Sharpening with whetstones makes it impossible to achieve a smooth surface. You can't polish it well enough with whetstones. So, if the clipper is very dull, you can slightly fix it, but no one will pay for this anymore, because competition is growing, and now high-quality sharpening is required. I'm specifically talking about the competition in Moscow, specifically. And the sharpening must be perfect. Well, basically just like I teach my students to do. So, well, in my honest opinion, you really shouldn't use this particular type of sharpening technique in your professional work because it often leads to poor results. The next item from the 7 items. It's quite a popular thing. I would say even very popular, more of a marketing thing. These are sharpeners with manipulators, with holders for tools, for clippers, and other similar items such as scissors and knives. This topic originated from American machines. I can't remember what it's called right now. Maybe I'll find a slide and show it to you. Basically, the holder holds the manicure clipper, and a diamond stone or a non-diamond stone grinds its inner part. This type of sharpening has huge drawbacks, and I explain this using the example of sharpening on the Adams GMT machine. I will try to insert a link to this video at this point, or leave it in the description. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. There, I explain in more detail about working with the manipulator for sharpening clippers, and why don't sharpeners use these manipulators for some reason. A large number of students come to us for training, bringing even a GMT machine with them, and saying, we bought the machine, spent some astronomical amount of money, either 50,000 or 70, and we still are unable to sharpen with it. We are looking at this machine, the craftsmen are also looking at this machine, and they also cannot sharpen on it. This is a separate and detailed discussion about these specific wheels and this particular holder, but professional sharpeners, who are experts in their field, never use them. With GMT, they don't use any manipulators at all to hold the clipper straight. The next method of sharpening manicure clippers is using the Sharp R7 machine. This device ensures precision and sharpness. The machine can be used for on-site sharpening, where you call up a list of salons, find a client within 15 minutes, and go to them to sharpen tools. It's a very good method. I used to do it myself. In approximately 15 minutes, you find a client who will pay you 1,000, 2, 5,000, and you go. And in a day, you can visit several salons like this. The advantage of this sharpening method is that it is a compact portable machine. I believe the set even includes a lamp, which is also portable and battery operated. A very fine disc, no polishing is needed after working on it. I think this is a huge advantage of this machine. It is always ready, does not require adjustment, has no play, and sharpening happens very quickly on it. In fact, you can sharpen clippers only on it, and they will cut very well. The next type of sharpening manicure clippers, or rather, a method. This one I called it, go to the market, buy what the sales consultant at the market, or at a hardware store, tells you to buy. A sales consultant by definition is not a sharpener, but essentially a consultant to sell to you. And advantages, can you perhaps purchase something like that? You can indeed purchase something precisely like that, but only a master sharpener who knows exactly what they need can do it. If it's a beginner, there's a 99% chance they'll most likely buy the wrong thing from me, and they definitely won't be able to sharpen it properly. For a beginner, this is dangerous because they might lose interest as they won't be able to succeed. I'm not talking about they spent their money. I'm saying this on the student's experience. A person comes, buys a machine, we look at the machine and it's all crap. Dust is getting everywhere, creating a huge mess. Buying a machine with a bent shaft is unalterable. There are such machines with a crooked shaft. If they have grinding wheels, you can use them for rough work, but you won't be able to sharpen clippers with them. Or there is a good wheel there, a person buys the same one, but it is not the same. It has a different grit, and due to its unique properties and characteristics, he won't be able to work with it. So, there are these particular features. The next method, which probably stems from this one, is to buy machines that are already good, adjustable, and come with the necessary wheels. For example, the Sharp KM15 machines. If I'm not mistaken, they come with two types of diamond wheels. They are simply a must-have, you need to have them. There are grinding wheels, polishing wheels, and the necessary polishing compounds, not the ones suggested by the sales consultant. This is already a well-assembled sharpener's kit. We'll discuss the polishing compound. There are different types of compounds. They differ in color. There are polishing compounds for aluminum, for gold, for silver, and for plastic. But for manicure tools, a specific polishing compound is needed. If you buy a Sharp KM15 set, either standard or profile, it includes the exact compound needed for manicure tools. The next type of sharpening is using sandpaper. There are, roughly speaking, small machines. I don't remember what they are called. A student brought them to us once. These machines stick sandpaper on top, turning it into a sander. You should sharpen the clipper. There are YouTube videos, but it's nonsense. I don't recommend it. Any sandpaper creates a convex lens. Clippers probably no need to explain. It's just deadly. You hit the clipper on the sandpapers. I do not recommend sharpening manicure tools. Another method for sharpening clippers is using engravers. Many such recommendations on the internet suggest sharpening with engravers. I would call them fake. The engraver lacks attachments for sharpening, grinding, polishing tools. It doesn't have a firm fixation. A rotary tool can be used, for example, to remove rust in a hard-to-reach spot on a tool, or such as to enlarge a hole as needed. But it is absolutely impossible to fully, in any way, sharpen a manicure clipper completely, entirely. We use an engraver in our sharpening studio, but unfortunately not for sharpening manicure tools in our sharpening studio. So please don't fall for such fake suggestions, recommendations, and advice on the internet. Only buy the equipment that you will use and that will generate income for you. That's quite an interesting list we've got here. These are probably all the sharpening methods I know from my more than 10 years of experience as a master sharpener of manicure and hairdressing tools. If anyone is interested in learning from professional masters how to sharpen manicure and hairdressing tools, contact me. I will leave a link to my contact information in the description. We will teach you from scratch to the level of a professional sharpener, so when a client comes to you, they will return and bring their friends, and you will only grow your client base and your income. There are options to undergo training along with purchasing the equipment and also to acquire good quality equipment. See you soon.